Good evening, this is Melissa with thestockswoosh.com, and tonight I am doing a talk about KSS. This was a gap down, okay, that happened today, and I just can't wait to go over this one tonight. I said, oh my gosh, I have to talk about this tonight because I was on the phone with my friend, one friend about this on and off like a million times today. And I said it wasn't going to work, and then I said again it wasn't going to work, and then I said again it wasn't going to work, and I said it wasn't going to work. And to me, it didn't work. Now, I know some people that shorted this. And yes, some people, if they shorted this at the right place, yes, they made money. But here's the thing you got to understand. You can make money doing almost anything in the market. But the key is consistently. Consistently, how are you going to do that? Well, you can't be all over the place scalping stuff or shorting stuff or buying stuff willy-nilly to get moves here or there without some kind of actual strategy going along with it. My strategy is professional bearish gaps. What am I looking for when I'm playing these? Well, I have a 26-point rating system that I'm looking at and evaluating whether to play something in the morning, okay? I teach a 2-day seminar on that. That being said, the purpose of my rating system is to get a momentum move on the stock in the direction which is down. That's the direction that I'm playing the bearish gap. I am not playing a bearish gap in an up direction, okay? And if the gap does not meet my criteria, I am not playing it at all. Why? Because the criteria has a reason for the points. And the reason for the points is I don't want to get caught in something, playing it in the wrong direction. When you are in something and you're in something and it gets in the wrong direction of the momentum, which is the real direction of the way that the stock's going to trade on the day, which is the bias, okay? You can get hurt trading. You don't want to trade against the direction. I mean, the first person that ever taught me anything about trading at all said, don't play against the trend. Don't play against the trend. Okay, that was good, solid, basic advice, and I just need to repeat it again. The trend is your friend. Okay, I didn't invent that, but the point is, somebody did, and there was a reason for it, and the reason for it is because you have to stick with the trend. And the trend in momentum trading has to be the bias for the day. And if the bias for the day for me isn't holding or setting itself before 10 o'clock, I don't play it. Some people play later and some people get moves and stuff, but it is very rare that a stock will gap and absolutely flip and reverse directions to get a momentum in the other direction on the day later. That does happen. But lots of times when it really, really happens, is something opens and goes a certain direction, whether it's up or down, if it's an up gap or a down gap, it moves and it hits the target that it's supposed to get to so hard and so quickly and so fast that it bounces, that the momentum that moved it down bounces because those people get out of the position or somebody buys it because the target was so huge that was hit that it reverses and flips itself. That's not what happened today in this trade, okay? I want to explain that. But I'm just saying, in those instances, I can't think of any examples right now off the top of my head. If I think of one, I'll do a video later. But that has happened. This is not what happened here today. Therefore, the momentum in the stock today was what? It was up. Let's look at it. Okay, I know at the end of the day that it lost half its value. It just did, okay, because it went into a certain area, and we're going to go over it. But the point was the play in this and the momentum in the day was up, was long, and it did have a green body here. I know it has a topping tail, but it did have a green body. This wasn't a great gap. Why? Okay, it gapped down here. It opened at 50.27. See this over here? It's 50.29. Do you know that this thing, okay, should have opened and gone and dropped like a rock? It didn't. And that's a sign. Okay, there was an immediate sign anyways. Even if you don't believe anything I'm telling you about, playing something within the first 30 minutes in the right direction, just forget that for a second here. This thing opened at 50.27, went down to 50.25, had all the room in the world to drop here. Right down here, boom, right down here to hit this number, right down here to hit this 200. It had plenty of room here. And what did it do? It held itself. Okay, that's not a good sign. This broke it on the open and went down to 50.25, and only did it by a couple pennies. What does that mean? It means it has no problem hanging itself up and it should just drop like a rock, and it didn't. So, first of all, I wouldn't have played it just based on that, okay? period. But I didn't like it for other reasons, which I'm not going to get into now because that's what you learn in my class. But the point was, I didn't like it. And my friend kept calling me, oh, it's a short, it's a short. I said, no, it is not a short, it is a long, it is a long, it is a long today. Don't short this thing. I know people made money in it, but they probably got stopped out 2 or 3 times before they did, and I don't like to trade that way, okay? So here we go. Look at these green bars. How can you don't short into strength? We short into weakness. We short weakness. We buy strength. This is strength. This is 9:30 to 9:45, 9:45 to 10 o'clock. You want to short into something like this? Let's pretend we didn't see this. Pretend none of this happened. If somebody gave you those 2 bars in the morning and anything else, what would you do? Would you even conceive of going short this thing? Forget the daily chart. Pretend you didn't even see it right now. Pretend you didn't see anything else that happened today. What would your first initial instinct, if you saw 2 bars that look like this, anywhere on the planet, would you be thinking to shortness, weakness? No! Okay, this is 30 minutes of trading on a gap play in the beginning of the day. And what do I teach? The first 15 to 30 minutes of the day are the most important in the day to set the tone of the gap. I really think the first 5 minutes, I love the first 15, but I'll say even the first 30 sets a tone in the day for how that stock's going to trade. Boom, that's it. And if I see 2 bars like this in the 15-minute chart, I'm not shorting it. This is not weakness, okay? So trade at your own risk if you want to short in this. I know people love to short into resistance. That is not a strategy. That can be a play of sorts, okay? That can be a play, okay? There's a difference. I'm talking about the overall strategy. What is the overall strategy? The overall strategy tells you how and why you're playing something on a certain bias for the day. The strategy says, why am I going to go long this today, or why am I going to go short this today? Why? Okay? Why would you go short this today? Give me the strategy. It's a gap down. A gap down is supposed to show weakness. We only see strength here. And it's 10 o'clock. Okay? That's a problem for me. Okay? And it held in here. Okay? It did ding in here, but to be honest, this just looks like people selling out of their longs in this 1 bar that we got here at 245. There was only 2 red bars here, okay? It just basically held this range for most of the day, okay? I know that if you shorted this all the way at the top, you could have made money holding this all the way at the bottom, but how would you have known, or why would you have thought to do that based on this beginning trading? Because remember, let's look at the daily chart. I like gaps, and I love gaps that work, but not ones that are showing me that there's a problem. And this is a problem for me right here. Why? I just told you. It dinged under here. It dinged under it. It made it. And it decided not to go. Okay? Now let's look at the 1-minute chart. Here's another thing I didn't like right away. Is immediately I didn't like this. All the way here in the morning. Okay, this is the pre-market stuff. I'm not sure what exactly time is open on the exchange, because sometimes it doesn't even matter. The point is, you look at the pre-market trading, you look at the whole thing, and this was the lowest point it was at. So if this was really at the 930 bar, which I show here, okay, but the volume started coming in here really at this bar, 933. Right here, okay, these things that do these jiggies like this, and then turn around and flip over them, I'm not crazy about that, okay? So fine, you want to wait. Okay, that doesn't look like that's weakness to me. I get 1 red bar there, fine, there's no trigger, and then I got, whoop, look at this, right here, it's all over for me right here. If I even conceived of the possibility that I was going to accept the fact that the stock didn't go right away, even though where it was opening, which I wanted it to do, and say, hey, say if I would have said I love this, which I didn't, okay, but say I would have said that, I could have stuck with it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could have stuck with it here, but after I get this, I'm off of it. There's just no way. There's no way. I'm off of it. It's 935. No way. I mean, this is a reverse swoosh right here. This is a reverse swoosh. I should just put the chart on my site. You know, this thing opens and rallies up $1 in the first 5 minutes on a gap that it should have gone like that. Okay? And see what's the problem here. So some people don't care about this. They shorted here on the sell setup. They get stopped out over the high of the day. It sets up again, they short it again. Why? Because they like the gap? They don't want to get off of it. Fine, I understand. You like something, you want to give it a couple tries. I don't have a problem with that. They get the topping tail here. It's red. They think it's going to hold it just dinked over a little bit. Some people give things more room than others. I give things no room. I just retake them if I need to because I like to play stuff tight. And I like stuff to work in the morning right away. And if it's not, there's a problem. Okay? Then what does it do? It gets another big green bar here. Okay? It holds it fine. It comes in a dinky amount. And what happened to these people here that retook it? They got stopped out again. See, here's the problem. Over the high of the day, 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 over the high of the day again. How many times, when something keeps going over the high of the day, that means it's going up. That means the trend is up, not down. Okay, this one slant down here is showing just where the gap opened. And this jiggy here and this one here. But basically, it's up. Just pretend that these moving averages aren't there. Just delete them from your mind. If I'm looking at this, drawing a line from here to here, it's a straight line at an angle that's going up. Period, end of story. Which again, higher highs and higher highs and higher highs and higher highs. So here we are. We got the two 15-minute green bars. You got stopped out once, twice, whatever, once or twice, I don't care. Even if you only got stopped out once and you took it, you're going to take this up here after this? Do you see what I'm saying here? Why? Give me a reason. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying here? This is just, I don't do this. I teach not to do this, and I teach what to do, and I want good ones. I want a good one. That's why I have a 26-point rating system. I have a 26-point rating system for a reason. I want something that's good and it's going to work good. And I want to know if it's not going to work. How am I going to know? I'm teaching you right now the stuff that I teach. This is how I'm going to know. Look at this big bar here, too, with the bottoming tail and the green head. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just big green bar after big green bar here. Okay, that's the problem. And of course, we never saw the low of the day. I said, I don't care. Short it up there if you want to. I said to my friend, you ain't seeing the low of the day today. Dream on. It's not happening, okay? This is what I call a scalp trade. This is not momentum trading on the downside to me. Now, I know that this ended this way. So let's see what happens here tomorrow. If you insist on taking it short, maybe it will do it. I've seen them not work on the day, and then I've seen them have follow through correctly on the next day, but not in this regard. If this does it, I'll be surprised. It could, but I don't think so. Why? Because it had all the chance in the world to do it today, and for some reason it decided not to do it. Why? Because the momentum came in the real trend of going up. The people that are creating the trend is real big money, and those are the people that you want to be on the side of. You don't want to be on the side against the real money, okay? Because we make money just riding the coattails of the big money. And the thing you have to understand is, you want to short this here, trade at your own risk. You want to short into this kind of strength here, here. You want to short into something that looks like this. Do it at your own risk. Why? Because when you are against the trend or the momentum of the stock on the day, anything can happen. Sure, you got to stop in. Stops get blown through all the time, okay? How? Why? When you're against the trend, the real trend on the day, okay? So I want you to do the correct thing. What's the correct thing? Get the bias right on the day. Read the trend correctly. Find a good gap and play it. When you decide to trade against the trend because you want to scalp or you just can't get off it, just know that it may not work, and it may not work in a way that may hurt you, okay? And that's why I urge you to read these things correctly and properly to get it right. Read the bars, period, end of story. They tell you everything you need to know, the whole story. And if you don't know how to do that, then I suggest you take my class. Okay, I suggest you take my 2-day seminar. I suggest you take my class because I teach how to read this stuff. You got to know how to do it. Okay, everything is there that you need to know how to do. It's like a clue. It's like a puzzle, and that's why I love reading charts. Anyways, this was the gap down failure on KSS. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com, and have a good night.